The 42nd WrestleMania is in the books. And before I get into any opinions of mine about the show, I first need to play this ad for the Hulk Hogan documentary. Life is hard, brother. Okay, anyway, the short lengths for many of the matches was very saddening. Oh, sorry, I guess I gotta tell you to buy some Minute Maid. Lemonade, fruit punch, whatever, you still give them money. Back into discussions. I cannot tell you another Mania with so many commercial breaks. Damn it, another trailer for the Hogan doc. I was asked to be in Metallica, brother. Not to say that there wasn't anything great. Night 2 especially had many highlights. But the expected downgrade compared to the last few events did occur. For God's sakes, more Hogan! I think it all started when I went on that podcast, brother. And that trailer interrupted my opinion on the performances from Rusev, Dragon Lee, and JD McDonough. My bad, guys. Okay, enough bits. The flaws that I was mentioning really made the first night in particular feel like an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event rather than the showcase of the Immortals. Which is a damn shame, because it really does seem like this supposed TKO invasion could really be hitting full effect. To keep in mind, nothing bad I say here has anything to do with the wrestlers at all. Just as a viewer, and especially if I had paid my leg and liver to go to this event where a majority of the matches were under 10 fucking minutes, I would feel beyond scammed. And while the highs truly did their damnedest to give us the spectacle we've been wanting, and those halves did, the defects were way too alarming to simply ignore for this ranking. I don't want to take away what was awesome here, because even Night 1 had some great things to remember, but a majority is from Night 2. And since I don't count segments on this list, a huge congratulations to Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. I'm Duke from Duke It Out, here to rank every match at WrestleMania 42 from its worst to its best. Before I begin, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more great wrestling content. Number 13, the Usos and LA Knight versus The Vision and IShowSpeed. The first of many on this list that made us ask the question, why the fuck is this so short? It made the match fail to get anything going with practically every competitor except Speed, oddly enough. In the short time and post-match segment, he was the primary focus, and he really stepped up to the challenge. He was pretty smooth with it all, in particular that frog splash. But nothing eventful beyond that. And this match involved the tag team champions, one of the most over faces in the company, and a potential main event storyline with Jimmy and Jay. And the celebrity of the match is the main takeaway. Number 12, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. I'm going to sound like a broken record with a lot of the main issues with these matches being the same. But damn, 7 minutes? It was like we got a simulation of this match on WWE 2K26 on fast mode. I did laugh at Trick's jacket looking like a giant roll of toilet paper. The ring work was really good for the time given, and the Lil Yachty interference was the rightfully expected outcome. But it only adds that Trick is now champion. But we don't really know if Sami will go further heel after this. Maybe because they didn't get enough time to develop it or something, I don't know. And oh yeah, justice for Carmelo Hayes. Number 11, the Irresistible Forces versus Paige and Brie Bella versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. The one main thing that makes this match a standout was Paige's return to WWE. Many knew prior, but it was still great to see her back. And the face-off with Charlotte really made me settle in that the quote-unquote Divas Revolution can now be deemed nostalgic. I'm not old. And while this also suffered a shorter length, the chaos in the stipulation could make this one's time more valid. And if last year's Mania taught us anything, Paige and Brie will likely drop the belts back to Nia and Lash by the end of the week. Number 10, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Surprise! Another match less than 10 minutes! What's worse is that the ring work is great in all of these matches. But they seem to be so rushed to get to the next ad that it removes so much of the intrigue. The work with Becky and Jessica Carr was very entertaining, and AJ showed off her great charisma and counters throughout. And if AJ is taking a break from the ring, the result was exactly how it should have went down. But they were showing that if it got an extra 5+ minutes, it could have been even stronger. Number 9, Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. Out of any of the matches that were disappointing with its short length, this one really takes the cake. The entrances for both were Mania quality, and the first half showed off some terrific energy with both really bringing in the built-up anger that had been wonderfully booked. And with that proper storytelling, the fact that it's booked to only be 8 minutes is such a slap in the face to both women. We got some cool spots that we were wanting to see. Stephanie hitting the Oblivion, Liv teasing to hit the Devil's Kiss, and for the time they had, got some other cool spots in. But all of the big moments felt rushed as hell. Along with the quick interference, and while Liv winning was probably the right call, it could demean Stephanie's reign, and she was an amazing champion. I really hope they still have good plans for Stephanie following this, because for her first WrestleMania match, she deserved way more. Number 8, Jade Cargill vs. Rhea Ripley. While Stephanie vs. Liv was very disappointing for its short length, at least with this, we've seen plenty of matches around this length from Jade, so it might have been more expected. And both her and Rhea sold the determination for how big the match is, including Jade hitting the one-winged angel, which made me go full Tim Allen. And Rhea getting some awesome spots of dominance while Jade got to show more resilience than usual. The closing half shenanigans were pretty fun and a great excuse to see Io at Mania. But I do feel bad for Jade, Michin, and BFAB now, because with this immediate loss following their team up, it doesn't leave me much faith that they'll be booked too greatly. But will I accept it if it means we will get more world title matches between Rhea and Io? Absolutely. Number 7, the Demon Finn Balor vs. Dominic Mysterio. Honestly, this one was a bit longer than I expected, especially after watching night 1. I'm glad they decided to make this a street fight. While it didn't take its full advantages, it's still a very fun match. The Demon kicking out at 1 from the 619 splash combo was pretty fun, along with one of the most convincing near falls of the night when Dominic hit it again. I was deathly afraid they were going to bury the Demon for a second. And it could be argued that if anyone deserved a WrestleMania win on that card, it was Finn Balor. And the fact that it's his first PLE win in more than 2 years is so sad. Hopefully this leads to better things for Finn, but I really don't know. Number 6, Cody Rhodes vs. Randy Orton. Now this wasn't anywhere near as weak as Cody's previous Mania main event against John Cena, but it also doesn't touch either of his Mania classics with Roman. So this was a really good match, but not quite to the greatest main event levels, especially with what we got the next night. Cody's entrance might be my favorite out of his Mania entrances so far, and the gear was really cool too. And with the already known great chemistry between Cody and Randy, we had great sprinkles of it here. And Orton selling the injured back was great, and I liked some of what they were trying to tease with Cody taking all chances no matter the ethic of it. Then the Pat McAfee stuff wasn't awful, but unnecessary. The Jelly Roll announce table spot didn't pop me at all. And while it's cool to see the punt back, it seemed weird that they didn't stretcher Cody off for that, after it not appearing since the Thunderdome. A good match, and even with Cody winning, the feud is definitely still ongoing. Number 5, Oba Femi vs. Brock Lesnar. Now, this can seem hypocritical that I have the shortest match on the card in the top 5 after complaining so much about the short matches. But only for Oba versus Brock, the short length actually had a proper reason. Not to be able to cut to the next 10-minute break that tells us to order a Baconator and join Club WWE. This was booked to make Oba Femi in his WrestleMania debut and first singles match on a main roster PLE look like a f***ing superstar. Him simply eating the F5, chokeslamming Brock to the fall of grace is one of the most electric moments from either night. While it was the most anticipated match on the card by many, we didn't feel robbed, because the result brought out exactly what we wanted. Where in Stephanie vs. Liv's case, less than 10 minutes isn't what we wanted. And while the post-match stuff of Brock taking off his boots is beyond memorable, if he still ends up having his retirement match at SummerSlam, I wonder if that was as necessary. Because Oba should have remained the primary focus here. But when it comes to booking standards, Femi can only go up from here, and I cannot wait to see what's next for him. Hopefully King of the Ring. Number 4, Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. With its stipulation, the violence might not have gone to the levels that some bloodhounds were probably craving. But this was a really damn good match that really solidified that built-up hatred between the two. And while there weren't a ton of weapon spots, the ones that occurred were very great. Drew getting PTSD over the toolbox was an awesome touch. And Drew shoving Jacob off the turnbuckle to him landing on the table was perfectly orchestrated. And if Drew really is taking a break from WWE, the entrance for Jacob along with his win leaves him in a great spot following Mania, which I think was most important for this match. Number 3, Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Now, starting here is where we get to the matches near the top of WrestleMania quality. And with both Gunther and Rollins not having as much time to build up their feud, they executed this match in the best way to continue their own momentum. And the brawl before the match really did make the energy throughout its entirety more consistent. Their chemistry swapping over the advantages was expertly done, and Gunther's selling of almost fear being built up of losing to Rollins was a wonderful touch. Any of the ring work on the inside or outside of the ring was top of the line. And Braun Breaker's interference was exactly what was needed to put Gunther and Rollins back at the spot that were likely intended for the show itself. But they did everything they could with what they were given, which is why they're some of the most dependent in the company. Number 2, the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Something about a ladder match at WrestleMania just feels so right. And when it's good, it's like getting the best version of a dessert, and that was definitely this match. While some entrances weren't shown, every competitor got some great moments to shine. JD McDonough was practically the punching bag of this whole match, but he nailed every single spot that he was a part of. Rusev was a great dominant heel magnet to reignite some energy. Dragon Lee was terrific at randomly appearing for dope spot after dope spot. Rey Mysterio obviously was awesome, with the senton spot on Rusev showing the exact charm he always brings to a ladder match. Javon Evans perhaps had the best timing out of everyone. When he was the focus, it was easily some of the most fueled I was for its entirety. And I was really rooting for him to win. But Penta retaining is definitely deserved. And his performance really showed why they put the belt on him to begin with. It had been 10 years since the last IC title ladder match at Mania. And this was on the same levels or even higher than the ones last decade. And number 1, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. This opinion I know remains true with a lot of people. If there's anything that saved this WrestleMania from being on the bad levels, it is this incredible main event. Even if they went for a full soap opera route, it still would have worked. But I am so glad that they decided to let Punk and Roman go out there and have the best damn pro wrestling match that they could have. Not only was it the only match to go beyond the normal lengths, but they properly used it to their advantage. Both of them expertly portraying their own energies in the beginning, with Punk's anger and desperation making the crowd more energetic, while Roman's trash talking and methodical beatdowns left everyone as invested as possible. And they had the amazing parts in the second half combined with an incredible story. Punk being determined that he still has the same momentum even at his age, trying to one-up Roman each time, and that determination led to him gassing out. The final swings he tried to hit on Roman made everything hit so much more. And I have faith that Roman really will turn his schedule around throughout this reign, which is just a great touch to what is honestly one of the best professional wrestling matches in the show's history. Whether it was the phenomenal entrances, brilliant ring work, or respectfully crafted story. So that was my ranking for both nights of WrestleMania 42. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and duke out your Mania opinions in the comments below.